Hi, 8th graders. Welcome to translations. This time we are going to be looking at how to translate a shape without a coordinate grid. This is actually a pretty difficult task. I'm going to say that right away. It's pretty tricky. One of the tricky parts is actually following sort of steps that might not seem like they actually work, but they do, and also sort of piecing this all together in your mind. You'll notice that transformations on a grid are way easier to perform than transformations without a grid. So I'm going to walk you through a fairly quick step-by-step process. First things first, here is our shape. I'm going to label it up A, B, C. And when we have a transformation, we have what's called a transformation vector. That means that this is how that particular shape is going to move on a piece of paper or whatever else. So this is our translation vector. So this tells you typically the direction and how far something will move. The translation vector. This tells you how far and in what direction something is going to move. This particular shape is going to move along this same path, and so we will see this shape shift down and to the right from like this exact length when we're done with this. So, a couple of things that we need to do. We need to figure out what direction this is moving in comparison to our shape, and we need to figure out how long this is. So those are our first couple of methods of madness that we have to deal with. We're first going to look at how long this is. It looks like this vector is 2 centimeters long. 2 centimeters long. And then we're also going to look at what degree it is in comparison to one part of our shape. So the way we do that is we need to extend one of these sides of our shape out, and we're going to do it really lightly, but we're going to extend one of these sides of our shape out. I'm just going to do BC because it's sort of the one that's sort of closest, and it's going to totally intersect with this in a nice way. So BC, I just extended that line out, and I'm going to very lightly do the same thing to my vector so that way I can see where it's going to meet. And I'm now going to see, and the reason why I measured this length first is so that way I had this length even if I ended up drawing that line fairly heavily. And then after that, I'm going to take my angle ruler, place the brad right at the intersection point of these two lines, and figure out what degree these are separated by. So what is that rotation that they essentially have between the two of them? So I have one side of this now on 360 degrees, and the other side is going through the 75-degree mark. So this vector is 75 degrees from my shape. So now, this is what we are going to do. We are now going to take our shape and we are going to draw or trace this shape really heavily on one side. I will do the same thing on the other side. So that way I know that my pencil is going to transfer between the two. So I have A, B, and C. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to shift this around so I'm not tracing over where I'm going to be translating. And I'm going to add some pencil lead to the other side of the patty paper so I can make sure that my pencil lead will transfer. A, B. It's hard to write letters backwards. It's kind of nice when they're traced. So now you can see that reflected shape. All right, so here's my shape that I'm going to now translate. And here it is on the patty paper. I'm now going to take this ruler, this angle ruler, and I'm going to bring this down to point B with that 75-degree marking. And when I do that, I'm going to make this center of rotation be right on that point B. I have one side of it, or one side of the angle ruler going through that line, or that side BC that I extended before. and I still have it on 75 degrees. And what's nice is this angle ruler has these dots here that are sort of perforated that go through. I'm going to make a couple of dots. Those are going to help me now I'm going to take those dots and I'm going to connect them to B up here. I'm going to do it pretty lightly. Just draw a nice light line through those dots and through point B. So now I have this 75-degree angle, and now I just need to measure down this angle 2 centimeters to be able to draw or trace my shape. So I'm going to now take this and measure down 2 centimeters. That's where my shape is going to start. That's where my new B prime point is going to be. Now, the only other thing I need to do is I need to I have this shape here. I have that very lightly drawn vector line. I need to make sure I copy that at least a little bit on my tracing paper, on my patty paper. By copying it on my patty paper, I can now take this whole shape on my patty paper and just sort of bring it down on that line and make sure that line is constantly overlapping my traced line down below. And so now I have my translation done. So I brought this point B down to where B prime is, and now I can retrace my shape, transfer that lead through the paper, and there it is. Do you see that? Isn't that sweet? I know, it's super sweet. And so now what I can do is I can make these lines a little darker and heavier and actually finish up this shape by labeling it with its proper prime points to show that it's a copy of the original pre-image. So now I can say this is A prime right here, and here is C prime, and I already have B prime labeled. And so now I've translated my shape 2 centimeters down at that 75-degree angle. This is tricky, I'm not going to lie. This is probably the hardest transformation you need to make. You need to make a reflection, you need to be able to make a rotation and a translation without a coordinate grid. That being said, I'm not going to be looking really heavily at these skills. I just want you to try it out a few times so that way you can truly see how a translation is made without a coordinate plane. Tomorrow's lesson is all about looking at these translations with a coordinate plane. And so that will really drive this point home, and you'll really be able to see how to make these translations without a coordinate plane. When you get to geometry in 2 years, you're going to be looking at these translations and you're going to do the same exact thing, but with what's called a compass. And when you do it with a compass, it's actually like kind of magical how it all happens. You're going to be looking at creating some line segments, you're going to be translating those line segments, and then you're going to be recreating an entire shape and constructing that with a compass, and it's going to be really cool. You're going to feel magical when you finish it, or very frustrated. Either way, hopefully this drives home a point for you that you can truly translate something with just some patty paper. It's kind of cool. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about this particular skill. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you. There's going to be one more video that are big takeaways from this translation idea. And then after that, you can start working on your must-do practice problems. Bye.